I'm continuing my 16-bit superhero series with a look at 1994's The Incredible Hulk on the Super Nintendo. There was a Genesis version of this game as well, but I got the Super Nintendo game. Picked up the cartridge for $30, which was quite a bit of money for an old Super Nintendo cartridge, but I wanted to play it. You know, this is my new addiction. For those that don't know, I got so hooked on Spider-Man from Insomniac on the PlayStation 4 last year, and I kind of realized that there were lots of superhero games I never played, especially for the Super Nintendo and the Genesis. I picked up the Analog Mega SG and the Analog Super NT, and I went, you know, I love superhero video games. Let's fill in my library and pick up some of these old carts and see how they fare. Not by any kind of appreciation for where they were back in the day or how I felt about these games back then, but how they play today and how I feel about them today. I'd never played The Incredible Hulk, or at least maybe I did, but not for that long. Didn't have the game before, picked it up, got lost in this game, and man, it's wacky. It is a wacky game, crazy, jazzy, funky music, which doesn't really fit with The Incredible Hulk. He's got this crazy walk animation where he's just boom, 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 bam! Punches feel like they're powerful. You bash on the bad guys for a bit, but it takes them a little while to bust apart. You're starting with androids, and then you've got some alien creatures and things like that in this game. It does feel weird that the Hulk takes damage, but I like the fact that as the Hulk takes damage, he turns back into Bruce Banner, and he's like, oh, and then he's completely useless as Bruce Banner. The only thing you can do as Bruce Banner is kind of sneak into little tunnels like a rat and then find a gun that runs out of bullets instantly. It feels like I blew up a box and I thought I still had the gun. I got out of the tunnel, jumped up to shoot a bad guy, no bullets. Bullets gone, no gun, dead, which is weird. Like, you can kill the Hulk. Not only can you fall to your doom, or you fall on spikes like Mega Man, and then the Hulk dies, that's weird. The bad guys can beat up the Hulk, you know, which is crazy, but I guess they gotta make a video game, right? What you do is you scroll from level to level, and it's not just a brawler, it's not just like an old Final Fight clone. There are a lot of superhero games that are just brawlers that kind of take the mode of Final Fight, slap in superheroes. This is thankfully not like that. There is some verticality, there is some scaling, there are different areas that require you to get on elevators, and there are mini boss fights with the Abomination. Basically, you're trying to get from the beginning of one level to the end of it and then access a whole new level. You've got like city construction zone type things. You've got like laboratory type deals. You've got this weird red alien landscape, which feels a little evocative of Metroid or Alien, which I thought was kind of cool. There is some ambiguous qualities to the level design. Sometimes you're stuck in areas where it's just like, how come this wall is not bashing down? Where do I go? I was running back and forth in some of these areas, and it took me forever to figure it out. And sometimes the walls would just explode based on, you know, me jumping down and shaking the earth for a second. I don't know. I don't know. Like, there was a wall, I couldn't get through it. I fell down, made a sort of ground pound sound, and then I went back and the wall was gone, and I walked through. And then sometimes it took me a while to figure out that you can punch some of the faces that are on some of the facades and some of the walls, and those will activate levers. So there's a little bit of an ambiguous nature to the constructs and to the level designs. You can also impede your progress through the levels by picking up some large thing. Looked like I picked up a giant heart, and I threw it in my way, and then the Hulk couldn't get past it, and I was like, I couldn't pick it up again, and I couldn't get some 16-bit style frustrations, if you know what I'm talking about. I did learn a couple of special moves. The ability to clap, the Hulk clap, the super clap, was incredibly useful as I took on some of the boss fights in the game. I also was able to grab a character and pile drive them into oblivion, which made me feel a lot more Hulk-like and a lot more powerful. There's some interesting bad guys that you come across in this title, and there's a lot of rinse and repeat encounters with the minions, the regular enemies that you're gonna fight, but it's still fun. It's fun to be the Hulk. I think this is a solid game. If you like the comic series or the animated work, the movies, or you just love comic books and superheroes in general as much as I do, I think you're gonna dig this one quite a bit. I'm gonna give The Incredible Hulk for the Super Nintendo a 7.5 out of 10.